Now that we have images in the correct order in our timeline, it's ready to add some audio elements. My recommendation is always to begin with narration, because it is easier to add sound effects and theme music over the narration than it is to try to record over those other sounds, which can then make your recording less pure, as the audio coming out of the iPad from the music is also recorded when your voice goes back into the recording. So to record narration, I'm going to use this little microphone in the upper left corner of the bottom timeline. When I tap it, it says ready to record, and you'll see that these little vertical rectangles in red and yellow and red, sorry if that was loud for you. Basically what this does is it lets you know if your audio level is going to sound good or not. If it gets into the red, you're going to get popping and other really terrible sounds that are going to sound awful when you play the video back. So you always want to have students do 3 things. Number 1, set the iPad down. Do not hold the iPad. When they hold the iPad, they typically put their finger over the microphone, or it brushes across the microphone, creating nasty sounds. Second, if they have a piece of paper like a script or a story they're reading from, they need to set that down as well. Crinkling paper sounds ruin a movie. Third, when they tap the microphone to begin their narration, have them attempt to just practice like I'm doing here and monitor the green bar. It should be close to the yellow. If it gets into the yellow a little bit, that's fine. But if it's getting anywhere near the red, they need to back up a little bit. So now I'm going to press record, and I don't have a script, so I'm just going to wing it. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, the black-footed ferret is one of the most endangered mammals in the United States. Once there were millions of them roaming freely, making people smile. They're all but gone. Just about. Luckily, there are still some around. Let's save them, please. Alright, that was just about the worst possible narration I could have ever done, but I'm going to leave it. Now before the record, you can actually see now that light purple bar below the images in the timeline is that recording I just did. But before I accept it, I can cancel, retake, review, or accept. Now if this is something I was really going to publish, I would definitely retake it and have a script ready. But I'm going to just tap accept for our purposes. Now a couple things I just want to point out. First, you'll notice that my narration went a little long. I did that intentionally because I wanted to point out something that typically you will do when narrating over images. And that is, you will want to stretch the images to fill up the space to match your narration. You can see the narration is 32.3 seconds long. That little label tells you. If I tap on an image, if you look in the viewer, you'll see at the very top center it says 5.0s. That's 5 seconds. So that image is 5 seconds, this one's 4.8 seconds, etc. What I typically recommend to students is that you just take each image, tap it once, and grab sort of the edge of the image and just drag gently to the right to just sort of stretch it out a little bit longer. And if we do that to each one, we will get it to the end of our video. Now if I press play, it takes us right to the end. If you don't like the recording and want to redo it, you can always tap it, and there's some adjustments you could make at the bottom. We'll look at those more later. But in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see that delete trash can. And if you tap that, you can delete and retake it.